When it comes to Ragnarok, underwater spots play a big role in building, so we proudly present top 10 best underwater base locations on Ragnarok Ascended. And coming at number 10, this can be found at 21.8 latitude and 33.1 longitude, and this is known as kind of just like the Pearl Cave in Viking Bay. So I'll show you the surrounding area. As you can see, here's Viking Bay. As you come right here, you'll see that this little area, and this is a decent cave. Now this is technically a farming cave, but if you just want to be just a pain to everybody else on your server, you can build in here. It is a pretty massive cave. I'll show you guys. I have to literally speed up to just show you guys this entire thing, but it does keep going for quite a bit. It has two other ways that it goes as well once you're all the way back here. But yeah, here's this cave. So it keeps going down there and it keeps going up here. This, I believe, leads you into Castle Cave, I want to say. Got Carquinos down here. Okay. Yeah, this leads you into the Castle Cave, I believe, or yeah, okay, so that's Castle Cave, and then the other way leads you straight into the castle. So technically, yes, you can build in here. There's a bit of a tricky one to work with, I will say that, but if you defend this thing right, especially with the 100 turret limit, you can build multiple layers all the way through here, and I mean, honestly, you can place thousands of turrets in here pretty comfortably as well. So yeah, it makes for a pretty overpowered spot if you know what you're doing. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a kava and kratom seltzer company which provides an alternative to alcohol. These drinks give you a high but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being tropical. If you're looking for a new drink to replace your coffee in the morning, Mitra is the way to go. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code Outcasts and you will get 25% off your entire order. Now, back to the video. And coming at number 9, this can be found at 10.4 latitude and 56.7 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this is again one of the other spots. I'll show you this one really quick and then I'll show you the other ones that I just did not cover, just to kind of toss it in the video. But yeah, this is one of your other spots, and this one is covered in crystal up here, as well as you have a little bit of seaweed down here. Good amount of metal. Now this one isn't as big as the last one, but your entrance is a little bit smaller, not too much smaller, but it is a little bit easier to defend this one compared to that other one. But yeah, this is your main one right here. Now let me go ahead and show you the other other three technically that there are. So if you come up here, and there's another one right where, I forget where it is exactly. Here it is. So you got this one right here, which is directly in front of it, I believe. Yep, that's the one that we already covered. Then you have two more. They're a little tricky to find. Okay, yeah, they're over here. Then right over here, you have these extra two. Now, this extra one is pretty much a duplicate of that last one. I mean, it's very, very, very similar there. But that's it for that one. And then you have this one right over here. Now, this entrance is also similar to the last one. And I'm not gonna lie, they just feel like kind of a copy and paste of them all. So that's why I didn't really cover all of them as, like, you know, separate numbers, because they all kind of feel about the same. But you got that one there, that one, and that one. And coming at number 8, this can be found at 8.6 latitude and 56.1 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this is one of the few spots on here. I'm not going to show all of these, but there are a good amount of these everywhere, and this is one of them, being one of the better ones. Just defending your main entrance up here is going to be the hardest part of it, but you can make floating towers underwater, which actually could be pretty overpowered if you know what you're doing. But yeah, this is the down here area. Now this is technically a metal source area to kind of farm some metal and crystal, but in my opinion, if you can build this properly, it makes for a pretty great, absolutely massive spot. I mean, considering that that's the size of a vacuum compartment in here, I'm not gonna lie, it honestly is a little bit overpowered. Coming at number 7, this can be found at 6.8 latitude and 56.6 longitude, and there it is on the map. Now this is another kind of wyvern styled rat hole, and there is a good amount of these. I haven't really said too many of these other rat holes yet, but this is technically another rat hole. Still a pretty good base location though. But yeah, here's your entrance right here. That's the size of a vacuum compartment next to it. Show you the true scale of it. You literally cannot fit any dinos in here. I mean, there's just no way that a dino can get in there unless you toss it out down here, but even then it's going to be kind of hard. But yeah, once you're in here, it does kind of stop right here, which is a bit of a downside, and you don't really have too much other space to build. Maybe if you build compact up here, but defending it's going to be the hardest part of this rat hole, or technically base location. But yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one to work with, but if you are a smaller tribe, it does make for a pretty great spot. Coming at number 6, this can be found at 4.7 latitude and 63.5 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this can be found pretty close to the wyvern styled area over here with all these wyvern kind of rock pillar things. And this is actually technically another rat hole, but I figured that I would toss it in as it fits this video pretty much perfectly. Now this is probably one of the better spots on this list, and that is mainly just because you have this kind of long passageway back here. So as long as you put your main turrets and your like defenses right here, it'll make for a pretty great spot. And considering that it's about this size, you can't fit anything in here to really soak like a Dunkley or anything. So that also is a huge upside to it. And this thing does keep going for a good minute back here, and then it goes into like more of a crouch style area right here. So even if they can toss out a dino to soak right here, they can't even get through here. Yeah, here's the size of it just to show you guys the true scale next to my player. It is one of the better spots on this list. Honestly, it might be the best spot on this list. But you got a little bit of room back here, a couple little hidden rooms. But it does pretty much end right here, I believe. Yeah, I don't think it keeps going anymore. But yeah, it is honestly a pretty great spot. And coming at number 5, this can be found at 34.3 latitude and 91.5 longitude. And there it is on the map. Now this can be found over here underwater, and this is a pretty small spot, but it is great for like a solo or duo who don't really want to build out in the open. So right over here you have this, technically it's a rat hole, but you have this little area right here. Now it's big enough for a good amount of compartments, but you know, nothing too wild in here. So it does kind of keep going a little down right here. That is unfortunately another entrance technically, so it is a little tricky to defend that. But it does also keep going up slightly, not too much, and there is another entrance here. So it is a bit of a downside, but if you're looking just to build hidden, it does make for a pretty decent spot, just hopefully if nobody finds you here. Coming at number 4, this can be found at 36.9 latitude and 98.5 longitude, and there it is on the map. Now this next one is more of a kind of rat hole slash hidden spot. Now this is what it looks like from the exterior. It is right over here. Now this one is actually pretty hidden. Like not a lot of people are really going to see it here as long as you keep all this seaweed and stuff around. But yeah, here's your base location. Now this is the size of a vacuum compartment in it, just to kind of show you guys the true scale of this thing. But it does keep going for a good bit. So it just goes up, which defending up is actually a little bit easier than defending down. Here's what it looks like with a foundation up here. But it does make for a pretty good base location and technically as a rat hole. So if you are looking to build in a nice little hidden rat hole, this is a pretty good one for you. I mean, you have a good amount of room, and as long as you have a lot of spam turrets just around here, honestly, it should make for a pretty great spot. Coming at number 3, this can be found at 91.7 latitude and 57.1 longitude, and there it is on the map. Now this next location is a bit of an awkward one. It is more of just a hidden location, if that makes sense. And this is the size of it. It's nothing too wild, but it still is a decent spot for, you know, a smaller tribe looking to build a little bit more hidden underwater if all the other main spots are already taken. So you do have this bit of an awkward entrance kind of thing right here, which is going to make defending it a little tricky, but it is a really good temporary spot just for a bit until you can get yourself built up. So yeah, it does make for a pretty great spot. And coming at number 2, this can be found at 13.6 latitude and 25.4 longitude, and there it is on the map. Now this is the other underwater cave that there is on this map, because this map doesn't really have too many underwater caves, but this is the other one, and Mushroom Cave is actually right there, which is funny enough. So this cave is literally right above it. But this cave is much bigger than Mushroom Cave, but it is 100% underwater, which is a bit of a downgrade, but it is still a pretty massive cave. As you can see over here, it kind of stops right here, but just this area alone would have honestly been enough. But no, it keeps going over here in the corner. You have all of this room to work with. You also have some nice looking crystals in here just for some nice lighting. Got a little bit of resources in here as well, and it stops right over here. But yeah, as you can see, you have this entire thing to build in. It is actually pretty insane how much room that you do have in here. So if you're looking to build underwater in just an absolutely massive cave, this is the one for you. And coming at number 1, this can be found at 10.3 latitude and 23.4 longitude. And there it is on the map. Now this first location is known as Mushroom Cave, and this is probably one of the best locations pretty much on this map for PvP and for a PvE spot. Now I applied some filters to make the area kind of look better, so it doesn't really look the best in this cave, but every other little one that's underwater should look a lot better. Now they really did add quite a bit in here, like a lot of flat land, but they also added a Carcino spawn in here, which is definitely interesting. It's something new. But there's a good amount of room for your entire base in here. You can fit very, very comfortably in here. But the best part about it is that the entrance actually was downgraded quite a bit, meaning that you can actually build, you know, not as much stuff on your entrance now as, you know, in the past you used to have to build a just absolutely massive turret wall to just kind of be able to build in here. But yeah, it does make for a pretty great location. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new and hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.